Tom Watson's fighting this weekend. He's fighting Tyler Flaties. He's recently said that he's the most exciting fighter in MMA. What do you think about Tom Watson? And
I like Tom Watson, you know, and I'll tell you what, if he keeps fighting like his last fight, he's one of the most exciting fighters in MMA. I agree.
He also bashed a lot of guys that were talking about fighter pay. He said that, you know what you're getting paid, and you signed the contract. You know, fighter pay has been a big issue. What do you think about
fighter pay? Isn't really a big issue. It's not. It's something fun to talk about because people like to talk about it. It's how's it an issue and how's it different than any other anything? Let me tell you what. There's kids that go to college, right? And when they come out of college, they're $100,000 in debt. Then they go get a job paying them $22,000 a year, right? And there's no guarantees these guys are going to be the CEO of the company someday. It's life. It's the way it works. Not everybody wins a trophy. Volkman. How many people showed up here, didn't show up here today because Volkman isn't here? You know what I mean? How many less pay-per-view buys are we doing because Volkman isn't here? You're either one of the guys. This is like fucking modeling, okay? This is a tough, nasty business. You either break through and you're either one of the best in the world or you're not. Not everybody gets a fucking trophy. The world doesn't work like that. So
whose idea was this whole world tour program? Because this is like awesome.
Yeah, well, what happened was we've never had an end of the year like this, and my philosophy is this. People always want to see a great fight, but you got to know a great fight's on or it's happening or whatever. So we figured this is the one opportunity to get out in front of this thing, get out and let everybody know this is happening, and then we'll focus on each fight one by one and start promoting it as it starts to happen. But you had to get out there and let everybody know, because we don't ever do this. We go fight to fight and just focus on the next fight and then the next fight. But we wanted to get out there and let the world know the end of this year is awesome. And these are just the fucking pay-per-view fights, and this isn't all of them. This is just some of them. I mean, we could throw the launch of Fox Sports 1 guys up here too. That card is great, and the list goes on and on. But
Tate, on Saturday night, several guys were asking you during the post-fight scrum about the PED situation in Florida. They didn't seem to have any answers for you when you were asking questions. 72 hours later, have you researched it all?
We just talked about that with these guys. It's like, this is one of those issues that I would think that if, first of all, I hadn't even heard about it till, you know, at the fight that weekend.
Yeah, Ariel asked you about it on Thursday, right?
So it's like if one of our guys were in there, I would like to believe that I would have heard something by now. You know what I mean? I haven't heard a word. Except from the media, I haven't heard a word about it. So,
is that something that keeps you up at night at all? Not that specific.
I slept like a baby last night, okay? I don't usually sleep well. I slept like a baby last night. That's how much it bothers me. We're a different sport.
I mean the issue in the sport
we're a different sport than other sports. The reality is we're tested by the government. The government regulates us and oversees us. You know what I mean? If you look at all those sports, we have the most stringent, you know, and not only when guys get caught, the government suspends them for a year or whatever it might be and fines them. So it's a completely different system than other sports. And if you get caught doing this stuff here and you're doing that, you are an idiot and you deserve whatever happens to you, because you know the scrutiny you're under here with the government.
If Josh Barnett was to win, what's maybe next for him?
If he wins?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. You know, obviously there's a lot of tough guys in the heavyweight division, so.
He says the only reason that he signed, though, was to get that title shot.
Yeah, that should be the only reason anybody signs here. I don't want guys that sign the contract and come into the UFC because they want to be on TV or they want to, you know, whatever it is. The only reason you should ever come to the UFC and sign here is because you want to be a world champion and you believe you can be one.
Dana, what was the process behind getting those two huge title fights on December 8th? I am so pumped for that card. And
getting who to fight each other?
For Silva versus Weidman 2 and Ronda versus Misha, both on the
Keeping them both on the card. Well, Misha and Ronda was already the main event for that card. And then once I got the Silva fight done, and that's the date it landed on. Why not leave? You know, we're gonna end the year with a bang. Co-main event, that's awesome, and an incredible main event.
Yeah. Dana, when you have all those fighters up on the stage, you know, the 4 champions, the great challengers, and Ronda seemed to dominate the stage when she talked. It seemed like she has that charisma.
Ronda's got charisma and personality for days, you know what I mean? And she's not shy, she's not afraid to talk, and she's not afraid to tell you what she thinks. And she's not afraid to tell you what she thinks about Tate, especially after the 5-week Snugglefest those two just had. So yeah, there's no doubt she's a star, and she's she's entertaining and she's exciting, not just outside but inside the octagon.
Can you talk about the Ultimate Fighter this season? Give us a little preview.
This is what I can tell you. I can tell you, episode 1 is great. Episode 2 is amazing. I've seen 2 episodes and it's a great season so far.
Best season so far?
Well, it's always hard for me to go against season 1. You know, season 1's so good. But and I think that every season has their own special thing about it. Like, Fuel has been playing the shit out of season 5 of The Ultimate Fighter, and as I watch season 5 again, I realized what a great season 5 was, you know, which isn't a season that was talked about a lot, but it was a fun season. Every season brings something different. The dynamic of the coaches, the fighters, you know, whether it's a season where you have some idiots and stupid stuff happens, or you got serious hardcore guys who fight their ass off. Every season has something different.
Is it going to be that same production that you had this past season? That seemed to really...
It's going to look, it's going to feel great, and hopefully we've tweaked a few more things that people will like.
When's the next time you come to LA or Orange County? When are you going to
Next year. We'll be back next year. I don't know exactly what month or date yet, but next year we'll be ready for California again.
Guaranteed. All right.
Guaranteed.
We saw some photos coming in from China. Have you had a chance to review the talent? And what did you think?
We're pretty happy with the talent that we found over there. You know, when you go into a market like that, that, you know, is unlike other markets you go to. We're happy with what we got. We got a great cast for the season of The Ultimate Fighter there, and we're looking forward to it.
And what about Johnny Hendricks? The confidence level, it's different than what we've seen with other guys that have fought GSP.
Oh, it's true. Johnny Hendricks absolutely, positively knows he's going to beat George St. Pierre, and he absolutely, positively knows he's going to knock him out. So when you deal with a guy like that, that's how all the guys should feel when they go into a fight. You know, some guys pretend that they feel that way, but don't actually feel that way. This dude does. Well, look at him. He's been in there with the best in the world. Look at what he's been able to accomplish. You know, and I think the best thing that could have ever happened to him was fighting Carlos Condit before fighting George St. Pierre, because that fight took him to another level, winning that fight.
I asked you a couple weeks ago about the plans for 20th anniversary, being the Vegas card with Johnny or the December card. Is there any more update there?
I got nothing for you. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You heard Paul Daly going on?
Yeah. I didn't hear it, no, but I heard about it.
Where are we at with that?
I mean, I'm not. He's gonna, you know, Bellator cut him for some reason.
So he actually got convicted for assault. He told him that it was cleared. He made an interview in which he said he was cleared.
Got convicted for what?
Assaulting and then impeding a police officer.
Sounds fun. Yeah. Sounds like something I want to deal with.
Dana,
you've had some skepticism just because he's been talking.
So let me ask you a question. Seriously, you're a media guy, and you guys are asking me about biogenesis and all this other bullshit, right? But you're asking me, will I sign Paul Daly? And you're telling me, oh, he's just been arrested for this and that. Come on, you guys. Come on.
Dana, you're a huge boxing fan. Mayweather Canelo. Who do you like on that one?
And what one?
Mayweather Canelo.
Mayweather Canelo. You Hispanic?
No, I'm from Israel.
Okay, I was going to say you're not going to like my answer.
No, I would like any answer.
I think that Floyd Mayweather has the style and the defense and the offense to beat Canelo. I think that I don't think it's going to be the most exciting fight you've ever seen, but Floyd's going to do what Floyd does and win on points.
You have 4 very exciting fights where there's no clear winner. Sometimes it happens in a sport game where you know who's going to win. What's your prediction for your 4 fights here?
I have no prediction. All I hope is that they're great fights. All I ever care about is that when we ask people to stay home and pay for a pay-per-view, that all the fights deliver. And you can't always guarantee that, so that's why we stack the card, and you're going to get your couple of holy shit moments where you jump out of your chair and high-five your buddies and, you know.
Speaking of which, Anderson Silva, no one on this planet saw that happening the way it unfolded.
Holy shitter, yeah.
What do you think is going to happen in the rematch in December?
I think it's going to be, I don't see how that fight can't be exciting stylistically. I just think it's impossible for that fight not to be exciting.
If Silva wins, does he get John Jones? Or John Jones gets him?
Dude, he's got to win that fight first. Yeah, it's like if you asked me if Anderson Silva lost this fight against Hendricks, Weidman, the way that it went down, Nobody would ever expect it to go down the way that it did, and you have to have the rematch.
When Brandon Reels, the boxer, fought Mike Alvarado, you were tweeting that it was very impressive. Brandon Reels is now in China. He's about to fight Manny Pacquiao in November. What do you think of that fight, Pacquiao-Reels?
I don't know. I think it's going to be dynamite. I think it's going to be exciting and fun.
Last thing, H.E.A.T Smith, what do you think about him?
I love H.E.A.T. Me and H.E.A.T go back together. Me and H.E.A.T were in boxing a long time together, and I'm very happy for him. He's one of those guys who stuck around, rode it out. He was on the Contender, and then finally he got his day, man, and now he's a champion. It couldn't happen to a better guy, and I couldn't be more happy for him.
Dana, what about the difference in the hardcore fans versus the mainstream fans? You come to something like this, they're booing John Jones, they're cheering Johnny Hendricks. Then you get inside the arena, and it's always different. Same thing with the weigh-ins. I mean, what do you make of that contrast?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. The hardcores are the weirdest dynamic you will ever see in sports. They watch the UFC, but they hate the UFC. They fucking watch John Jones, but they hate John Jones. They want to see George St. Pierre get beat because George St. Pierre's boy. I mean, it's just the craziest dynamic ever.
Speaking of the hardcore fans, you want to give a shout out to the underground guys over here?
Hi, underground.
What do you think of Robbie Lawler back in the UFC and finishing fights?
I love Robbie Lawler. I always have, man.
I think he was the first fight on Fox Sport Net. I think he was the first.
No, you're right. He was. He was the first TV fight that we ever did. And yeah, he's always exciting, so it's good to have him back. And the new Robbie Lawler is so much better than the old Robbie Lawler because he's more mature, he's more well-rounded, and when I tell you his head is in this game, his head is in this game.
Good. All right, thanks.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to talk to some fans, and then I'm going to New York, boys. Thanks so much for coming, you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, thank you. All right, man. Thank you.